Mitchell. Okay, hi everybody, my name is Mitchell, and my expert focus analysis was done on solving Avalanche syndrome. So, my name's not Avalanche, by the way. My name's Mitchell. I chose Avalanche because the analogy that I'm trying to make here is that in an avalanche, what happens is that you get overwhelmed by a wall of snow. In avalanche syndrome, you get overwhelmed by the daily list of tasks that you have to complete. And you just go from task to task without thinking about the things that happen in the middle. So the trigger for an avalanche is maybe a sneeze or a loud noise. Where in avalanche syndrome, it could be something like, I have an assignment due next week. Or something as simple as I need to brush my teeth. Then comes the stressor, which is the avalanche itself. It's the wall of events that keep coming, and you can't do anything to stop it. Pretty soon, you know, you're trapped under a wall of things you have to do, and the list keeps growing and growing. So how do we stop the avalanche? Well, in my research, I found that the trigger is inevitable. We can't stop events from coming. We can't stop the fact that we need to brush our teeth, that we need to turn in assignments and whatnot. So we have to start here at the stressor, the avalanche itself. Now, the events that we have to take care of day to day, that we go through, are kind of like dominoes. One leads to the next, which leads to the next. You keep knocking them down, and someone at the end over here is just stacking them up some more. What I found through my research is that in between the events that we have to take care of are moments that are moments of calming, that we don't really have to do anything that's related to the next event. But what happens in avalanche syndrome is that when we look back and we think about it, we replace those moments in time where we were relaxing with things that we had to do. So I come out of class, I finish my project. The next thing I do is I have to meet with my professor. The next thing I have to do is I have to eat with my friends. The next thing I have to do, it just keeps going and going. So to prove this to you, let me just ask you a simple question. When was the last time that you watched the sunset? Or even noticed the sunset? When was the last time that you felt the cool breeze? When was the last time you laughed? And what was it that you laughed at? I really hope this is nobody's car. For me, the last thing I laughed at was driving down to LA and I saw this car. And yes, that's a Volkswagen monster truck hybrid. It was ridiculous. So the key to not solving avalanche syndrome, but even remedying it, is to make those moments big, bold, so that we can remember them. That's where Project Life is Win came in. The purpose was simple. Create calming habits and mindfulness by taking pictures of moments that you want to capture. The design was also simple. Take a picture with your phone or a camera, send it to me, and I'll post it on a blog. This was the calming mechanism that I used. The idea behind taking a picture was that it made you be in that moment. It forced you to be there. You had to take some time to smell the roses, and this was the calming initiator. The point of the blog was that later on you could look at the blog and you could reinforce again what you wanted to capture. You could remember those roses that you smelled, and you could see the roses that everyone else smelled during the day. That was the calming reinforcer. So as BJ pointed out, we did two projects, text-to-calm and social-calm. My text-to-calm project was simple. I sent everyone a text prompt saying, right now capture a moment that you want to remember. And my social-calm project iterated on that by adding social elements and adding daily challenges, maybe specifying a moment that you had to take a picture of, such as laughing or during the nighttime. What I found interesting was that our text-to-calm and social-calm projects were separated by about 3 weeks or so. But I have results over the entire month from when I started text-to-calm and social-calm. And that's because I found that people really genuinely wanted to contribute to the blog and wanted to take pictures. So I just have a little bit of statistics for you. There were 115 total moments captured over the month. That means about 4 moments captured per day. 342 visits to the blog from 108 unique visitors. And I find this very interesting because only 20 people knew about the project. So the rest of these views came from Twitter or Facebook, people that I didn't directly contact at all. It kind of averages about to a little more than 11 visits a day. The best user feedback I got, which made me smile, was that this person said that they felt more conscious of their surroundings, they felt optimistic, invigorated, more playful, and less serious. So what do we do now? Well, what do we know now, actually? So we know that there are events, there are moments separating them, and that during avalanche syndrome, we tend to forget those moments. So what do? We make those moments big and bold so we remember them. Using technology and photography, we can capture great moments like this that happen every day, and we'll never lose sight of the moments that we tend to lose. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I have time for questions.
No, I think we'll go right to our guest judges. Susan, we'll go this way.
I love the simplicity of the idea of the photos and the calming effect, especially if you get people into the moment of, putting time aside to get engaged and take the photo and then come back to it later. And obviously you got some great results there. Thank you.
David.
I have a reaction, but I have a quick question because I didn't quite understand the social calming was you not only you give assignments to people to take pictures of certain things.
I also tried to integrate Facebook, which really failed badly, so I didn't include that in the presentation.
Okay.
But yeah, so there were specific assignments, and they would share those via Facebook.
Okay, so that part didn't work as well.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So allowing people to choose their moments, capture their moments, that part worked.
Exactly.
Okay. Later I got a great quote for you on these moments.
Gus.
Yeah, I thought it was a very solid presentation, and what you presented was a very clear insight for why and how for the mechanic here, and it reminded me of a company called Photolog.net, which had a vibrant community and was able to generate a lot of revenue and get people positive thumbs commenting on photographs. So I think what you have is substantial market for a unique company.
Kyra.
Yeah, I think people want to take pictures of photos, and at least there's two barriers. One is that they don't feel like they have a reason, and they are concerned about the quality. So you lowered both of those barriers in this case and really gave people the right focus in terms of those moments in between and getting them to shift and gate their attention back and forth from something that is stressful to non-stressful and also contributory. I think it's a beautiful, simplistically elegant design. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bernie.
Beautifully simplistic, elegant design. Wow, those are really hard words to follow. But I did, I come from a corporate perspective, so it's like, how do we engage people to think like this? And I think the photography